What's up, everybody? This is Ariel here for another episode of Bullshit, where we expose, call people out on the things that they do. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Coachella Festival in Southern California. And the main thing we're going to be talking about is the hologram of the late 2pac Shakur that they did at the end of the festival. Well, so like I said, apparently technology has come very, very far to the point they are actually able to make holograms of past artists who have been slain or otherwise, like artists who are no longer, living. They've been able to animate these holograms to basically, be these guys. And, it's crazy when you think about it. Wow. So, what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to play this video for you, and it's about, 4 minutes and 53 seconds long. So, you guys can actually see the entire thing. Now, as you're watching this, I want you guys to actually, pay attention to a few things. The one thing I want you to pay attention to is the songs that are being performed, and also I want you to pay attention to, just the little details and things like that. Now, I'm gonna leave the link to this video in the description so that you guys can, see it, just in case you're not able to view it too well, on the camera. But yeah, without further ado, let's do this. So look at that, they even got his tattoos correct and everything. One quick seed, what do we have here now? Do you wanna ride or die? La 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 la. Come with me, one quick See, what do we have here now? If you wanna ride it down.
Gangsta shit.
That first song was Hail Mary.
Let these motherfuckers know what kind of party they in right now. Ain't nothing but a gangsta party.
Ha! It's crazy how they did that hologram because, like, if you notice, his chain is flowing like freely. You know, like this ain't no cheap projection.
So now they got a place. So monkey in the air, motherfuckers catching cases. Bitches get paid for the throw down. The shit about to go down. Bitches snoop about the crack. I'm losing my religion. I'm bitches on these movement. You might be keeping this game. It's got improvement. Niggas be acting like they savage. They got to keep the cabbage. I got nothing but love for my niggas to the last. I got a big name, Greedy. She did Reno. I got a house out in the hills, but it's a Gino. I think I got a black Vino. But this week is the owner of Black Casino. Black Buzzy single. And it was all illegal. And get scooped up. I'm like, nigga, homies in the freako. It feels good to get ready, but I'm this thing is the from the G to the keys, motherfucker. Now follow it, ride. Motherfucker, rap you up the back from the west side. And I can make it famous. Niggas get down, yes. So how can they blame us? I live in favor for felony. I never stop betting these. Motherfucking shit. If you got that blow, another one. Everybody gangsta party, party, party.
Check out that breathing animation, man. That's cool. It disappears and goes back to the spirit realm. So that's some crazy shit that they're able to pull that off, you know. So like I said, it's a couple things I wanted y'all to pay attention to. The first thing was the songs that he performed. Now, the first song was Hail Mary. Now, this is actually interesting because a lot of people were wondering, you know, whether or not they was using like stock footage from like the past, or they was wondering whether if, you know, like he had performed at Coachella before. First, let me say this. First, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, and then I'm going to say some shit that you pretty much wouldn't want me to say. I mean, I've basically lived my life telling people honestly the truth, and this isn't going to be any different. It's going to be some good shit I'm going to have to say about this, and there's going to be some, it's like some pretty evil shit I'm going to have to say about this. So, stay tuned. You know, like if you're one of those people that don't like to hear real shit, then for like the second half of this video, you're not going to want to, pay attention to it. But, the first thing I would like to say is that the first song, you know, Hail Mary, that he performed, well, that this hologram had performed, was that, like, it's interesting because Tupac was murdered in 1996. Hail Mary was a song that was released on the Don Illuminati, the 7 Day Theory album. Now, it was an album that Tupac had finished before he was murdered, but the album itself was not released to the public until after he was dead. So it was no way possible he could have performed that song live. So, that's one thing right there. Also, Tupac died in 1996. The first Coachella festival wasn't done until I believe like 1999. It was like he died 3 years uh, before the first Coachella festival was performed. So that eliminates the need for any type of stock footage whatsoever. Now this is gonna cross over into pretty much something that into everything that I'm gonna wrap this up with in the end, but just understand where I'm coming from. So people saying that, oh, this is actually Tupac and all this third, that, and the third. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. During the actual performance, it's nice to see Tupac in concert again, because for my generation, like when he died, like we were still young. Like we weren't into music like that probably. And I know for a lot of us, like that was the case. Like we weren't heavily into music like that. We didn't pay attention to the news, and some of us probably didn't even have cable, to even know things like this. But yeah, so we didn't really get a chance to really, grow up, like seeing him in concerts and things like that. Like we never had the option of doing that because, he was already, just murdered. So it's good to see somebody whose music you've really looked up to, growing up. And it's just good to, like, it's just nice to be able to see that individual in concert. I can name plenty of songs from Hellraiser, Live and Die in LA, Temptations, So Many Tears. I mean, just a long list of his songs that I personally had, once I discovered who Pac was, I basically held on to those songs to like dear life, because like those songs really got me through some rough times. But it's good to see that they're able to do this with holograms. Now, a lot of people think that this is like some new technology that came up. Truth be told, this technology was actually being put to use years ago. I'm pretty sure like you can find this video on the internet somewhere, possibly on YouTube. That is, if the video hasn't gotten taken down yet. Like years ago, like over half a decade ago. Well, not over. Well, yeah, over half a decade uh, ago, in Las Vegas, I believe it was a hologram show. And like what they were doing is that they were using these holograms to project like a Loch Ness monster, um, uh, uh, um, splashing around in the water, and it looked it looked pretty good back then. So eventually they ended up making it to where um, they're making it to where they can project images like this. Now, since they didn't have any stock footage, you can tell that for one, this is completely 3D. This is a complete 3D hologram projection. Even if some of the angles, like you can tell that this was meant to be viewed from the the audience to the stage, because it's at certain points where they're performing where the camera angle actually views it from the side, and it looks very thin. You know what I mean? And if I can get this thing to a certain point where it gets that side shot, like right here, like you can tell it from right here, like it looks kind of thin from. But anyways, you know, it like the projection was just meant to be seen from the audience looking onto the stage, and you know, people complaining and crying and things like this, like, oh my God, Tupac is back, and all. You know, I'm happy that they're able to do this, but you know, it's like I said, even though I'm happy to see, you know, Tupac in concert, regardless if it's really him, which it isn't, or a hologram, it's nice to see it. And you know, even as he was getting ready to leave, it was always that thought in the back of my head, you know, ask him, please don't go, because the game needs him right now. And anybody who's listened to his music can honestly say that the rap game needs, you know, that kind of music, that kind of heavily, you know, conscious, you know, type music now. Like they need that real shit back in rap, and it'll be nice if, you know, they had somebody at least, you know, similar on that level. And we do, you know, like we got our Kendrick Lamars, our Ab-Souls, and a lot of other guys that pretty much are, you know, like just doing what Tupac was doing. And, you know, that's just keeping real music alive. And, you know, but, you know, no matter what, I always knew that it was a hologram. And that's all it was going to be. Now, what kind of possibilities does this open up? Now, this is where I start crossing into that negative. This possibility, it opens up a lot of things. First off, it opens up the opportunity to possibly do some type of hologram projection, you know, like concerts and things like that. And, you know what I mean? I mean, it's already talks, well, like rumors from, you know, like just people who were at this year's Coachella, that were saying, like, you know, maybe next year it would be nice if they could do a hologram of Biggie, and you know, things like that. So, I mean, oh, and another thing, like they were supposed to be doing a, like, for some type of hologram of Nate Dogg, but for some reason, like they didn't end up doing it. Maybe because like the system didn't have enough juice, and they just wanted to, you know, like wait till the last show, and you know, like use it for Pac, for Pac's hologram, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, to me, this hologram projection is still in alpha testing, as advanced as it was, because you could see like the necklace moving and things like that. So the necklace is moving so freely, it's really just free flowing. And I don't know if you can see it, but like once you look at the video from, you know, your computer, like you'll be able to tell like there's light shining through his body. So like they haven't necessarily, you know, perfected it, but it's pretty damn good to where they're able to pull off something like this. And it's pretty amazing. But let's be honest, we just the guinea pigs, man. Like we're just the guinea pigs, and this is where I cross over into that negative. So you don't want to hear this, by all means stop the video now. But they've been developing this technology for one and one thing only, and that's to try it. Like, eventually, what's gonna happen for this? What's gonna happen with this is that, and I'm scared to say this because, but pretty much this technology is just going to be put to war. Like eventually they're just going to use this technology for war, just like every other technology. And like I said, like it's just in alpha testing now, and we're the guinea pigs. They're trying to see how many people would be willing to fund this. Like they're trying to give us things that we like and possibly get us to put money behind this thing so they can continue to develop it. And then next thing you know, they're going to be using it for war. And who knows, maybe they'll try to do some type of shit to, like make some type of false profits or some type of shit. Like, it's scary that, this hologram thing has been developed right up under our noses. And, like, the general public doesn't even know that this technology has already been in development for years. Like unless you've been like some type of tech geek that's been, just paying attention, or, like you've been Google searching about holograms and things like that, then I highly doubt you would have known that they were capable of doing this. Like I said, like years ago, like they did this in Las Vegas, where they made this hologram Loch Ness monster, and it was splashing around in the water and things like that. It was real, like, lifelike. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't mean to sound like one of those conspiracy theorists, but it seems like the Illuminati at work. I mean, hey, all those crazy people that people were talking about, I don't listen to them, they're crazy. They're not, worth listening to. They're nothing but a bunch of soothsayers and, like, fear tacticians, which is funny people should say that, because, everything that those conspiracy theorists have been saying for like years and years ago, you see that stuff slowly developing now. They said that the government were going to try to rule with an iron fist and try to make a one world government, and things like that. And pretty much you can see shades of that already happening with bills like the National Defense Authorization Act that was passed under the United States nose. Like the general public didn't know about it. It was a bill that basically gave the United States military personnel the ability, or like the legal right to arrest any United States citizen who they believe to be committing terrorism. So you really don't have to be doing anything. If they suspect you of terrorism, then they have the right to arrest you. Now, you had like like one or two people that were talking about it on the internet, but it didn't really. But unfortunately, it fell on deaf ears, so it ended up getting passed. So at this point, I can just hope that these military personnel, don't end up getting all gung ho and start trying to bust down people's houses. Like it was already rumored that they had basically abducted, they had legally taken a 16-year-old kid who was suspected of terrorism and, whatever. It's just some scary shit, man. Because it's not scary in terms of, like the fact they're able to do things like this, but it's pretty much the potential of what they can do with this. Because that they're going to try to basically use this in some negative way, shape, form, or fashion. And And the only thing I can pretty much say is, hey, like, don't be surprised. Like I said, like, it's good for them to do things like this and talks about like hologram concerts or things like that. Like, it would be nice that if they're going to do that, then perhaps they should try to, at least use the man's image to do some type of positive, things. Like maybe donate the money to a charity that Tupac was supporting, or like some type of cause, or even to like his family members, like help them out if they're going to do this. I mean, of course, like it's their technology, so they're going to have to get paid for it as well. But if they're going to use the man's image to do this, I pretty much think that it would be, like it would be the right thing to do to try to do something with the money that he would have done. Like help build up the communities that he supported and all these charitable organizations that he was, like supporting, and, like help his family members out and things like that. So, like I said, like the link to this is going to be in the description, but the amount of bullshit is that 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 this technology is going to be used for some fucked up shit in the future. And that's the thing that makes it scary, is because like you can see the potential that can be done with it. If they're able to do this, because like I said, Tupac performed Hail Mary. This is a completely rendered hologram. Hail Mary was a song that was released after he was dead, so he never had a chance to perform it live. So how did they get a hologram projection to do that? I don't know, like if it's some type of motion sensor thing that they did or whatever, but it's crazy. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna end the video there. You guys form your own opinion. I'm just saying, like, watch out, and in the future, like, don't be surprised when you see some type of shit like that happen. Like when they start using the shit for war to try to like infiltrate buildings and trick people and like try to brainwash people and shit. Cause I have a feeling that it's gonna happen, and when it does, I'm saying like some weird shit gonna go down. But the link to this video is going to be in the description. You guys can check it out. And I'll see you guys for the next episode of Bullshit. Peace.